to embrace the truth as we bring you the most hard-hitting stories and unveil the real facts. Welcome to Hard Facts.
I am Maryann Okon, and this is Hard Facts, where we separate truth from fiction. We're passionate about the hard-hitting stories that matter. Get ready to challenge your perception and discover the real world. Let's dive deep into the issues that affect our communities, revealing the untold stories and giving you a voice. No sensationalism, no bias, just raw, unadulterated truth. I am committed to delivering news without compromise. Hard facts as we know them, when we know them, and how they affect you. Every Monday through to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. This will be your most authentic news experience starting now on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Are you tired of all the noise and speculation in the news? On Hard Fact, we cut through the clutter and get straight to the truth.
If only Fubra has been aware of the boo-boo trap, he would have understood in democracy there are bases for everybody to do accordingly.
Join us as we bring you the stories that matter. We go beyond the headlines to uncover the real facts and the core of every story.
We are doing this, we are doing that. At the end of the day, nothing good will come out. What did they promise us? They will be in charge of security and life and whatever. But what are we getting in return?
With in-depth analysis and experts interviews, Hard Facts delivers the truth that others dare not to reveal. Tune into Hard Facts every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m. and arm yourself with the knowledge you need to navigate today's complex world. Hard Facts, where the truth always prevails.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. 8 minutes gone past the 3 o'clock. Officially welcoming you to Hard Facts. This is and will be always your most authentic news experience, the one that you can get on the radio. And you can take that to the bank as usual. My name is Maryann Okon, welcoming you to the show from now till 6 p.m. It promises to be an enlightening news experience for you. So you don't just listen and you just don't get to call in, but you also get to come away with something. I always like to say that, well, what we're doing here is value adding. You know, you get to understand things that you've never been aware of. You get to learn new things. And of course, you get to also retain some information that can help you in the future to make better arguments and, of course, make great conversation. As usual, we start off with the big stories from our national dailies. And when we say the big three, these are stories that you are talking about on social media, which makes them trending stories. These are also stories that are gracing the covers of our national dailies. And, of course, these are also stories that make a debut, sort of, on our news bulletins right here in the station. And so we're starting off with those stories. And later on the 4 o'clock hour, we'll be having the governorship candidate for the Labour Party in Edo State governorship elections that's coming up. Olumide Akpata, he'll be joining us live in the studio as we talk all things Edo elections. And on the 5 o'clock hour, the People's Democratic Party National Publicity Secretary, a Deputy National Publicity Secretary, Abdullahi Ibrahim, will be joining us virtually from the FCT to talk about the state of the nation. And, of course, their position on Mr. President's address and how the presidency has handled the End Bad Governance protest. You do not want to miss any bit of it. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. You could also join the conversation if you're listening to us from outside of the country. Via Skype, we're Nigeria Info FM. On Twitter, that's X, use the hashtag HardFacts to join the conversation. And on WhatsApp, it's 080-959-75805. Without further delay, let's get into the big stories for today, shall we? Are you ready? Well, let's do this.
Get ready for the most important news of the day. It's time for the Big Three Stories on Hard Facts. Tune in to our primetime show for the latest updates and in-depth analysis on the top stories making headlines. From breaking news to in-depth investigations, we bring you the facts you need to know. Join us as we delve into the biggest stories shaping our world today. Tune in to the Big Three every weekday, 3 to 4 p.m. and stay informed with the news that matters the most. Hard Facts, where the truth always comes first.
This is Hard Facts.
Welcome Lagos, welcome Nigeria, welcome everyone who's listening to us from outside of the country. It's time for us to get into the big three stories for today. My name is Maryann Okon. This is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. And we are broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itimiyan Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. This is the economic capital of the country, for those of you who do not know. Let's start with Mr. President. Yes, hoisting foreign flags in Nigeria is a treasonable offense. Yes. Now, for those of you who have been following the news, you must have obviously known that there have been certain states in the northern part of the country that have been seen flying flags suspected to be Russian flags. And I do remember that a security expert was explaining to us why some of these flags are being flown in certain states, because they're saying that there are people who obviously are coming from outside of the country to take advantage of the protests in the north, being that you know, Russia has also been fingered to be behind some of these coups that have happened in certain francophone countries around the West African coast, and this of course in itself does have a terrible and a very I don't know if fierce is the word, but it has a very disturbing connotation to it, you know, of course, because this one way or the other is subtly saying that, oh, we might be pushing for military takeover, and that's not what we want, because we love that we have a democracy, and that's something that needs to be guarded against. And we saw the likes of a former military president, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, speaking up 2 or 3 days ago, saying he has no hand in it. He's not supporting any form of military takeover. He's in total support of democracy. There's so many question marks on this particular story, but the army has come out to say that look, they had a closed door meeting with Mr. President yesterday, and the I think Chief of Army Staff had come out to address the media on this particular issue. And for those who do not know what treason is, I took the initiative to, you know, give you a little 60-second heads up or background as to what treason is. So according to the dictionary, treason is a crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill or overthrow the sovereign or government. The action of betraying someone or something. Historically, it's a crime of murdering someone to whom the murderer owed allegiance, such as master or a husband. Okay, so and this means obviously that whoever was behind the flying of the flags, the people who were flying the flags, the man who was sewing the flags, unbeknownst to him, whether he knew what he was doing or not, they're all culpable. But what I'm mostly interested in is who's behind all of this, and that's a bigger question that we need to chew on today on the show. Let me move away from that. Let's look at what the Premium Times newspaper has to say here. End bad governance. 26 Kaduna protesters remanded in prison. 39 others arrested. Now, the police has come out to say that they did not necessarily arrest any protester, any peaceful protester. It was hoodlums. It was the people who they think were trying to cause mayhem in the protest. But then the End Bad Governance protest leaders, some of them have come out to say that, yes, some of their protesters who were peacefully protesting were arrested by the police. We've also heard that one of the leaders of the protest in Abuja was also arrested by the DSS. So again, maybe the police wants to backtrack or do some checks. I don't know. All right, still with the Vanguard newspaper. Tinubu yet to engage people's demands, says CSOs. Shall I give you some background? Well, no fewer than 13 civil society organizations declared yesterday that President Bola Tinubu is yet to meet the demands of protesters. They include the Accountability Lab of Nigeria, Budget Foundation, Center for Journalism, Innovation and Development, CJID, Enough is Enough, EIE, Nigeria, Fix Politics, Global Rights, Human and Environmental Development Agenda, HEDA, and Media Rights Agenda, MRA. These people are saying, obviously, who are in support of the End Bad Governance protest, are saying, Mr. President, you've not necessarily addressed the demands of the people. Shall we take this as you not being interested in addressing our problems? Or shall we take this that you did not necessarily understand us? Maybe we need to bring the stories or the demands to you. Shall we make it clear? Well, several other NGOs also in this particular statement. The Public and Private Development Center, PPDC, CESO and Foundation, TechHer, Women Advocates Research and Documentation Center, WARDC, and YA Africa. Now, in a statement issued yesterday, the group said, over the last few weeks, Nigerians have planned, mobilized, and curated different demands and given the government adequate notice. We recognize that citizens have taken ownership of the demand to end bad governance and have contributed to the list of demands in circulation from their pain points. Civil society groups and stakeholders in the polity, as civil societies and stakeholders in the polity, we have streamlined demands based on consultations to midwife a peaceful and holistic engagement of the issues by government. The issues include protect farms and farmers, human capital development, electoral reforms, establishing a new minimum wage, and constitutional and judicial reforms. They continue to say the president has expressed government's openness to dialogue with protesters on these demands. It is therefore our candid advice that this is pursued by officials and representatives of both sides with sincerity of purpose. Finally, this should begin with an immediate release of all arrested peaceful protesters and sanctions against security agents who attacked harmful peaceful protesters. It goes on and on and on. Well, as much as Mr. President has said that, yeah, we're here, we want to dialogue with you because we think this is the way to go. Is there an open channel? Well, Lagos State Governor, I think I read that post by him saying that there are open channels now that you can reach the government through with your demands. And I'm hoping that the people who are in charge of the protest in Lagos are going to take advantage of those open channels as said by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. And if those channels are not indeed open, let us know. But if the governor has said these channels are open, I want to believe that these channels are open and therefore dialogue should take place. But might I add that also if they're asking for protesters to be released, shall they also ask that the police and government protect media men, press men? We've seen an attack on the NUJ chairman in Abuja. We've seen an attack on News Central television reporters here in Lagos by hoodlums and touts. Why are they attacking newsmen? We're not the problem. We're only reporting what we see on the ground. So maybe security agencies and the government of Lagos State, and of course the federal government entirely, needs to protect journalists who are out in the field doing their jobs. It concerns me because I'm a journalist and I could be in the field at any time. I do not want to be attacked by hoodlums or whoever it is that is being paid to cause trouble. So shall we look into that? Maybe add that to our demands or their demands. Okay. And finally, for the big three today, protests, Kaduna, Zaria, boil. Over 700 billion naira lost in 5 days, says Abson and Kasima. That's the, in fact, we hear, not just Kaduna that's talked about how much they've lost, Kano also. But aside from Kaduna, the protests continued in Lagos, Abuja, Jos, Benin, Kano, Zamfara, despite President Bola Tinubu's nationwide broadcast on Sunday. Meanwhile, losses to the economy have been estimated at over 700 billion naira in the first 5 days of the protest against hardship. And while 600 billion was recorded in Lagos, Kano lost about 100 billion. The Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, APSIN, and the Kano Chamber of Commerce and Industry declared this yesterday. Let's talk Lagos. I really want us to look at all of these stories and let's talk about it. If we're saying we're not going to protest anymore, Nigerians, let's dialogue. What are the channels? Are those channels open? Can we test to see those channels if they're working? And can government meet the Nigerians halfway? Or was it that it was lip service that was paid to us in that address that Mr. President gave? I don't know. But the phone lines are open. Let's talk 0201-277-0993 for the gentlemen. That's 0201-277-0993. If you are a lady, 0201-465-7190. That's 0201-465-7190. Let's talk Lagos. Welcome to the Big Three. You got 60 seconds. Go straight to the point. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello. Good afternoon, Maryann.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Peter Monson is my name from Hulu.
All right, Peter, go ahead, please.
Now, Maryann, our people say, let me use my language. They say, medium boss,
Peter, your line is a bit dodgy. I could barely hear you.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your line is bad. Can you call me back? Because I really want to hear what you have to say, okay? Maybe move to a better place, all right? Thank you very much. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello?
Yeah, this is Pastor Ladipo.
Hi, Pastor Ladipo. Go ahead, please.
Calling from Orile Sarigomo.
All right.
I want to talk about the channel that Lagos State government has opened.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we should not be a reactionary government. Now, don't be surprised that this line of communication they said it has been opened so. It may turn to another profiling. I'm not preempting it, but based on the past activities that we have witnessed, this team may go the same way. They are just doing this thing to specify what is wrong. Solve the major. Lagos State came up with an idea which I really love. They said they are returning back the Sunday market with 25% discount.
Okay.
That would even be more better. To be more better. And on this issue of raising flags, you should understand that those northern states, some of them, their borders are just like somebody's backyard to the next place. And you know what Russia's invasion has done to some of those neighboring states where the militaries are taking over. And you know where the influence could be coming from. So these are part of the things we are experiencing. We need continued sensitizations, continued provision. All this we have.
Okay.
It is not translating to anything.
All right, Pastor Ladipo, thank you very much for calling. Eze is calling us from Odogbolu. Eze, go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
One of Odogbolu, eh?
Go ahead.
Yes, you see, all this our complaint talk. I don't know whether is he getting any fruit.
Well, the government, the federal government and the state government, Eze, listen, the federal and state governments have opened a channel and say, come and dialogue with us. Come, let's reason together. Is that not yielding something? Is that not what you wanted?
Well, that is what we want, but
Great.
If we go there and they lawyer our complaint, can they listen to us?
Well, I think that you need to cross that river to understand if they will listen or not. But they've said we have open channels, so let's try.
What we want, we are hungry. Should I go and put paper and the pen down before they know that I'm hungry?
Okay.
I'm hungry, Mary. I'm hungry too.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
All right, Izzy. Thank you very much for calling.
Honestly, I'm hungry.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. We're going to go on a break, Lagos. For those of you who do not know, we're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. You can be part of the conversation via Skype. If you're listening to us from outside of the country, we are Nigeria Info FM on Skype. Better still, you could join the conversation on X, which is Twitter. And of course, you could post your comments on our live feed, but we'll be right back.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Get ready for the ultimate showdown of intellect and persuasion. The I Beg to Differ National Debate Tournament kicks off on the 12th of August 2024, and it is going to be epic. Witness the thrill of high-stake arguments, insightful rhetoric, and unbeatable wit. The sharpest minds from Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt will clash for the prestigious title of National Debate Champion. Who will will rise to the top and claim the ultimate crown? Well, tune in to 99.3 Nigeria Info Lagos, 95.1 Nigeria Info Abuja, and 92.3 Nigeria Info Port Harcourt, Monday through Thursday, 4 o'clock, and experience the power of persuasive debate like never before. I beg to differ. The Tournament of Champions.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, you know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, it's still Hard Facts, and we're still looking at the big stories on our national dailies, and of course the stories that you and I are chit-chatting about on social media, making it to trend. Of course, the biggest stories obviously is the aftermath of the protest, but there are several stories coming as a result of this protest. Most importantly, we hear that 26 Kaduna protesters are remanded in prison and 39 others arrested. We know how the protest went south in Kaduna, in Kano, Yobe, Gombe states, and several others. Also, we hear that hoisting of the foreign flags, aka Russian flags that were seen during the protest in the north, is treasonable. And I did tell you what treason means. You're trying to topple a government, and that's wrong. It's illegal to fly any other flag except it is flown in a diplomatic space, which is, e.g., an embassy. If not, he has no business whatsoever on our streets. Anyway, the president is saying this is treasonable. Again, still talking about the protests here. Certain NGOs, certain CSOs are saying that Mr. President has not necessarily met the demands of the people, and they're asking that there be some sort of dialoguing, because that's what the president called for. But of course, open channels is what they're asking. And the protest we hear has cost businesses in Kano, in Kaduna, and several other places to lose billions of naira. And I'd like to give you some other updates as to what's been happening across the country. I did tell you about the fact that, journalists are becoming a target of sorts, which I feel is very heartbreaking. Bulama Bokati, who I have known over the years, someone who's covered the issues in the northeast and the northwest of our country, especially the northeast, Boko Haram and the killings. I think he at the time used to work for the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation. I don't know if he still does, but he's a researcher. He's a great journalist. He's very good at speaking about insecurity and all of that. He was reported to talk about the number of protesters that were killed. He said that police were shooting at protesters and threatening them with deaths in Kano State. Obviously, he must have witnessed this, and that's why it's published in the newspaper. We also hear Professor Akin Terinwa here says that most protesters carrying these Russian flags, the ones I've been talking about, are from Niger Republic, just like I said. Most of them are not necessarily Northerners, but you also know, because we have porous borders, it's very easy for these people to infiltrate us. And maybe this is one of the security reasons why the police had said, look, if you must protest, you must do it in a peaceful manner, because this protest has a tendency of being hijacked. Also, still talking about protests, we hear that security operatives were captured gunning down a protester, because again, back to the fact that the police is saying we didn't shoot anybody. It's only the only people that we have in our custody are people who were trying to perpetrate violence and mayhem during the protest. And I'm asking the police, you still have time. Do you want to backtrack that statement? Because we still have on video where a particular police officer was threatening that he's going to kill people. Then we also saw one shooting at protesters with live ammunition. Also, We hear that rioters went haywire in Kaduna. They mounted armored tank. We hear that security operatives had to mount armored tankers, to block them. Did you see what happened in Gombe? You need to go back and see those videos. They literally were almost taking over Government House, if not for security operatives strongly cordoning that area off. So things really went out of hand. But how many people were victims of the violence, whether it be from receiving from the police or from these guys who took over the protest? Like I said, in Lagos, we saw journalists being beaten with sticks in Lagos, pushed back into their vehicle, not allowed to do their jobs. And I wondered to myself, what kind of country are we building and where are we going? Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has also talked about the fact that our young people are becoming very restive. And they're asking for good governance. And if something is not done, these young people, some of them don't have jobs, some of them are hungry, some of them don't have skills. And it's time for governments to come alive, because we're sitting, according to him, on a keg of gunpowder. Let's talk Lagos. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Maryann, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name? Where are you
My
calling
name is Michael. See, Maryann, how did you get to this place where one government agency or one government official will just get up and say, this is this, and we will all take it line and sink and whatever?
How do you mean? In what regard?
I mean the Chief of Defense Staff, that suddenly is the Attorney General that determines what is reasonable or not. Nobody challenges it.
Sir. You don't need anybody to tell you that flying a particular country's flag in the middle of a protest is wrong. We're not doing the Olympics. You're not representing a country.
Maryann, can you let me talk? Can you hear my opinion?
I'm listening.
Whether it is wrong, so many things is wrong. But he's saying it's reasonable is the wrong.
Actually, it's the president that said it.
It could be wrong, understand, but not reasonable. People have freedom of expression.
Excuse me?
You understand? Let me tell you this thing. Now, this man, you understand? Just like when the government says we are giving states more money, nobody but check anything. We just carry it to the media and talk like that.
Sir. I need you to. No. Don't move away from what, because I need you to be clear. When you tell me that, carrying a flag, flying a flag in the middle of a protest, an end bad governance protest, the flag of another country is bad, but it's not treasonable. What exactly does Hold on, sir. Hold on. What does the Russian flag have to do in a protest in a country that is not Russia?
That is different matter, but I want to know where in the law it is said specifically that carrying somebody's flag is treasonable. I want to see where it is in the law. I'm not saying it is right, but my problem is that we just take everything.
So what's his argument? Okay, so you want the Chief of Army Staff or Mr. President who said it to come and show you where in the law?
My problem is that it is not the Chief of Army Staff.
It's the President who said it.
The Chief of Army Staff has no business in the same matter.
Okay. All right. I don't think that you guys pay attention. I said the president said it.
We glorify these people and give them the.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go because I think you already have an issue with the Chief of Army Staff, which I think is personal. When I read that story, I said the president said it. He held a meeting. The Chief of Army Staff did say that, of course, this is treasonable. But the president himself is the one quoted in this story saying that this is treasonable. Now, if you do have a problem with the Chief of Army Staff, that's fine. If you have a problem with Mr. President, that's personal. But when you start saying that, they're not talking about other things, why? Okay, it's bad, but if it's bad, it's bad. I mean, whether we want to go down to the nitty-gritty of the law, well, wait till Thursday. We will probably go and dig up the Constitution and look at what treasonable offences, what things are categorized under treasonable offences in the 1999 Constitution as amended. But please don't come on the radio and try to misinform people or try to, mix up issues. Thank you. Hello. Sorry about that. Do call me back. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Inka.
Hi, Inka. Go ahead.
Maryann, please, if the president said he wants to address Nigerians, he should come out and address us. he should come out and talk to us. It's not that he wants to negotiate. Okay, he said we need to.
Sorry, the president has addressed Nigerians. He did that on Sunday at 7 a.m.
Please, hold on. He said he wants to negotiate with Nigerians. That
dialogue. Dialogue.
Okay. Yes, God bless you for that correction. You need to dialogue with Nigerians. Joyce, I want to tell you that every Nigerians are protesting, even those that lock themselves in the house during the protest, even the ones that go outside. Nigerians, every single person is protesting for one thing or the other. So we don't have a leader that he should come. He's supposed to come, call all stations, all television stations, everybody stand. He addressed Nigerians. He's not the one that you will be addressing us through camera, recording. When they were campaigning, he went to all the whole states, 36 states. I saw him stand and talk to Nigerians. Now you want to dialogue with Nigerians. You don't know who to dialogue with. Is that fair?
Okay.
That shows that he did not regard us. And finally, I'm beginning to suspect that villa. People that is talking, you walk out all the whole country, go campaign. Now that you are there, you cannot talk to your citizen. What is wrong in that villa? When you go there, you cannot be active the way you are. People will see you as an active person. Thinking that when you get there, you will do something. When you get to the villa, another thing is, what is happening in that villa?
Okay, all right.
Is there any force?
If you ask me, I don't have the answer, but thank you very much for calling. 60 seconds is all you have. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Maryann.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon. My name is Godman. Yesterday, I was trying to get to the station. I was on the protest ground.
Oh, Godman.
I'm
so sorry. What was your experience yesterday at the protest? Because I heard you guys were trying to have some sort of forum inside this.
Not as much as what I've been seeing on the TV station.
Okay.
But they were still there. And then there were policemen.
Mm-hmm.
So the policemen were trying to intimidate, not in a subtle way, because they come with guns. Sometimes when it's going on, they'll come with their guns. A lot of them they just pass through us, just to try to
But did they try to stop you? Because the commissioner for police in Lagos was quoted to say that protests have been banned in Lagos after Mr. President's address.
They didn't, but they were on ground. And then there were occasions where they'll come with a gun, they're armed with guns, and they'll just pass through us.
Okay,
just to threaten, and all that. See, the problem in Nigeria, we already know the language of these governments. All you're talking on radio, start complaining, will not change anything. All in other crimes, you're seeing how they are getting results. That's the only thing. We need to fight for our rights peacefully in a protest and get these people to listen to us. Look at the address. He didn't say anything. He didn't address what we're grieved about. Nothing. So until he really addresses it, why are we stopping the protest? That is our power. So I don't know why Nigerians are sitting down. You will not get a change, though. You'll just be there, dying in your hunger.
So, but if the government is saying, and I'm just in the middle here. If the government is saying that we have open channels, we need you to come and dialogue, especially for Lagos. Lagos is saying we have channels. They've given phone numbers. They posted it. They're saying come and dialogue with us. Of course, it behoves on the groups to dialogue. So again, that's the issue. Who's going to go see the government on whose behalf?
This is even more than a dialogue. If I was in, I should be able to communicate to the people. Okay, this is what I'm going to put in place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cut the cost of government.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, people will really identify with that. So it's not okay. You want to dialogue with just one or two people. Address the whole nation. Is it just one or two people that's having the issue? And the problem with
the president has addressed you now. How many times do you want him to address you?
No, he has not addressed you. No, you can't say that. Was that an address? Was that?
Voila.
No, ask anybody.
Okay, I have to let you go because we're really taking others' time. Thank you very much for calling. I'm going to come back to the phone lines, but I need to read some of the messages that are coming in. This one says, the president's speech on Sunday, the 4th of July, 2024, which you mean 4th of August? 4th of August. Which was a manifesto-like, intentionally scripted and handed over to him to remind the electorate of his humongous achievements in the imaginary world. He's yet to address the cankerworm ravaging Nigeria's economy. Pharaoh would be compelled to respond to the demands of the people when they eventually pour out their angst, frustration, and anger on him and his cohorts like wildfire. Chisco from Ijegun. Who's Pharaoh? Olushoga here says, this rubbish should be stopped immediately. Russia flag for what? The governors of states should step in and find out what's the motive and those behind it. It is a handshake going beyond the elbow. Nonsense, he says. This one says, Chima from Surulere says, this one says, my name is Maryann Cole. It's not Cole. Okon. Pronounce it. Oh, Kon. Thank you. Talking about treason as Russian flags were flown by northern state protesters. This is intolerable. However, what about terrorists in Niger State who have hoisted their flags and their taxes from innocent villagers? I also expect our security agencies to go after these terrorists. Okay, thank you. This one says, we need to talk much about what the CSOs are saying. Every truthful and patriotic Nigerian is saying it. This government is suffering from self-deceit and lack of foresight. They knew the truth about the failure of Buhari's government, but they refused to admit it for political reasons, and now they're multiplying the problems with too many wrong policies. It's one story or the other. CNG buses today and another story tomorrow. Tinubu's so-called national address was a total misfire, and he didn't get close to what an address of this nature should be. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Simple. A sorry case of Nigerians, for Nigerians, as it appears our way to salvation is not near at all. Steve Inijaniki, please don't send me these long messages. I'm tired. Sonny Spackle here says, nothing concern us. All I know, okay, nothing concern us. All I know is that when the Igbos will never join the protest again, because I don't understand. Who's talking about Igbos? I'm guessing that this message was for someone else, not for me, obviously. This one says, good afternoon. Nigerians are hungry. Nothing to dialogue here. They should bring back fuel subsidy. Simple. Godwin from Yaba. Thank you, Godwin. This one says, my question is simple. Why are the security experts and analysts solely focused on Russian flags waved by ignorant and uneducated protesting Nigerians, but no one is talking about the giant Russian flag beside Mr. President? Oh, I forgot to educate you. You see that flag that's by Mr. President? What you saw while he was talking was a bit of the flag. You didn't see the whole flag. That flag is supposed to show that he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Now, if you look at that flag, it has all of the colors of the armed forces, and at the bottom of that flag is a green part. Okay, so let's educate you on the radio. This is why we're having this kind of conversation. That flag signifies that the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and that flag does not just have what you saw was just a bit of it. The full flag, there's a picture of it. If you go on Mr. President's handle or government handle, you'll see it. The full flag has green at the bottom. So it's not a Russian flag. And no government can fly a Russian flag. Or any other country's flag in their presidential villa. It's madness. No. So I hope that I've been able to educate you. Thank you. This one says, Nigerian government will not do to the people flying the flag in the northern region, will do nothing. I'm sure that's what you meant to type. I bet they will release them and nothing will happen, and they will only know how to jail people like Nnamdi Kanu without releasing him. That's the kind of government and situation we find ourselves in this country. Dampi from Igondo, thank you for your message. This one says, I sincerely do not envy the position of the president at the moment. On the issues carrying Russian flags, the northern political class is basically poking Tinubu, and with a marching order for security agents to crack down on the foot soldiers, Tinubu is about to wear Jonathan's shoe. Exactly where the northern political class want. It's basically about 2027. They're forcing him to play ball if he wants northern votes. Jake from Surulere. Another angle, eh? All right, Kingsley Sage here says, sincerely, nothing has been said or done by Tinubu to address the demands of the protesters. The entire speech was a campaign speech, and I think he's taking Nigerians for a ride. He would have done enough to quell the situation with that speech, but he chose to be insensitive to the plight of Nigerians. Thank you, Kingsley. This one's from Ajiri in Bariga. He says, the government will need to open a channel to the great beyond for dialogue, or else how do you dialogue with people that they've killed through the police? Okay. This one says, Maryann, the government is saying that protests will be hijacked. This government is not seeing it clearly that they have hijacked our country. Omar Sheo, Idara, thank you for your message. This one says, protesters are angry and there is no job, no security, no food, but it is wrong for them to fly another country's flag in our nation, and I'm totally condemning it. That is an act of treason. Birthday government has... What do you mean by birthday government has to be careful? to tread with caution due to the attacks by this wicked sponsor flying the Russian flag in Nigeria. But our government are not trying at all. They should bring back subsidy and every protest will end. Daniel, thank you for your message. John from Ijaniki here says, the hoisting of Russia flag, they're doing it out of ignorance and there's no somebody behind this thinking that they're in Niger Republic. There is somebody behind this thinking they're in... Okay, all right, thank you. Someone says, well, I just... what's your name? You didn't give me your name, sir. Yeah, Shala Alo. This, I just explained to everyone who's listening that the flag that you saw by Mr. President is a military flag. It signifies that he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And I'll keep sounding like a record as long as it gets into your heads. And so you understand this. And one way or the other, you know, you don't keep pushing that narrative that, oh, the president himself was, you know, flying the Russian flag. No, can never happen. Thank you. Someone says the president saying it is treasonable doesn't make it treasonable. Carrying a flag, wearing military fatigue, playing the national anthem of another country in your house, in the streets during a protest, during a feast, etc., does not make it treasonable. Allow persons to air their opinions. Okay. I don't think I'm stopping anybody from airing their opinion. I just don't want people to be misinformed. Okay? If the president says it's an act of treason, it is our place to now say, okay, let's bring in a lawyer. Let's talk about treasonable offenses as it is written or categorized in the 1999 Constitution as amended. Shikena. But you cannot be a lawyer on this show. And you cannot also try to confuse me. All right, this one says, it is misinformation for anyone, whether the president or chief of army staff, to say hoisting of foreign flag is treasonable without referring to any section of the Constitution. Tommy from Alakwere, I've told you, all of you that are lawyers, don't worry, we'll bring an SAN on the show and a professor, and then we will now have that conversation. Are we in agreement? Perfect. Onyeka from Ijagu said the president's address on Sunday doesn't hold water. He didn't address the things the protesters listed. Okay, and that's what the CSOs are saying. So shall we have another address, or shall we dialogue? And who's going to be representing us? And who can we trust these people? Or is it going to be the CSOs? Is it going to be NLC that's been tight-lipped about it? Or TUC? Or ASU? Or NANS that pulled out? Who's going to represent you on this dialogue mission? I've got 10 minutes on the clock. I want to go back to the phone lines and then I'll go to Facebook and I'll go to YouTube to read your comments. Oh, maybe let me just quickly go to YouTube and Facebook quickly and then come back to the phone lines. And Skype people, you can start calling me now. Yes, you can call me now. On YouTube Live, Chris Okeke says, 31st of January 2019, Governors Issa Musa of Zinda and Zakari Umar of Maladi joined President Buhari to campaign in Kano. Why are they surprised about the flying of flags by Nigerians? Interesting. Someone here says on Facebook Live, Dio, I want to ask, are we in a democracy or imperialism or feudalism? You can't build your house on lies and eye service and propaganda hypocrisy and expect it to prosper. It won't. You can see them running from pillar to post trying to stop the protest. Obasanjo Adigun here says, kindly educate us more on flying another country's flag in the middle of a protest, which amounted to a treasonable offense. I have seen several protests in the northern parts of this country some years in the past. People flying. Oh gosh, where's that message? Okay. People flying another country's flag here, especially protesting against America and other religious matters against their faith. Mazuzoma Las Aguasiem says, why do they think rice solves all our problems? Are we poultry? I'm going back to the phone line. 60 seconds is all you have. Please go straight to the point. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. Turn off your radio, please. All right, do call us back. Apologies. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. Turn off your radio, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Chineyama,
go ahead, please. Are you going to represent us during the dialogue?
Listen to me. Do you see how my voice is down? these people are really tampered with our love. Because I don't know how many people that is still in love now because of the way this government is taking us. This dialogue, Maryann, as I know, dialogue is a conversation between two or more people. That's what my teacher taught me. Okay, now this dialogue that he's telling us about, is it the dialogue of where you come with empty Ghana must go, and when you are going, your Ghana must go loaded with some stuff? Is it that type of dialogue that you...
I don't know.
Maybe it's that type of dialogue, because I don't understand. You're looking at somebody, you're with people, you cannot dialogue with them. It's when they discuss, you will not begin to dialogue. With what now? With empty, is it a thin air? What dialogue with?
I think I think maybe the question is what sort of dialogue are we hoping to get? If the president is saying let's dialogue, what sort of dialogue are we looking at? I'm guessing that should be the question.
Dialogue of sharing rice now, maybe.
That sharing rice is not dialogue now.
No, now maybe they don't want to say it out. They want to use their body movement. So some things you can use body movement to show.
Okay.
Understand?
All right.
Did you hear how many billions for the peaceful protest? About 600 billion. That's what they use for a protest that is peaceful. That's what they spend, according to what they tell us. So
they said that's how much they lost, not spent.
They lost. Okay, they lost.
Businesses that were looted and vandalized.
Something that is peaceful.
But it wasn't peaceful everywhere. Do you remember what happened in Gombe, in Yobe, in Kano, in Kaduna?
Let us set alone. No, let us set alone. No. Those ones they are talking about is 100 billion, but let us set alone is 600 billion.
Ha ha ha. Ha ha.
So just imagine.
All right, I need to let you go, Chineye, so I can take other calls. Thank you very much for calling. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hey, Pina for real.
Ziggy.
Yeah, so make I gist you. You see this hosting of flag. I'm against it though. It's not good though. For somebody to carry another country's flag and start flying it in another country, a sovereign country like that. My brother, anybody where they do that thing, make him be careful. It's a treasonable offense. So.
But there are people who are saying that this has been, a modus operandi in the north half the time that these things happen when they're doing any of those protests.
Let me be very honest with you. Those people who are trying to defend it are speaking out of ignorance. Apologies. Okay, they doesn't know what the law says. When you go to the law of the promises, you will know that it is a very treasonable offense.
We will have a professor. We will have a professor and an SAN in the studio. We will look at the Constitution. We'll open the books.
Yes, it's good.
Good.
Let me tell you something.
In 10 seconds, your time is up.
I will. The government said that there was to dialogue with the protesters. The dialogue should be, people said they are hungry. Give them food first. Provide food. Let there be food in the house. Let there be food.
Ziggy, they sent you trailer loads of rice.
Where is it?
You've not seen it.
Which area is it? Which bus stop?
The president said that they sent trailer loads of rice to the 36 states of the Federation.
Here in Ajawa, First Tag, I have not seen it. Please, can you show me a pin-up?
I think you need to check in with your local government chairman.
I don't need to go anywhere, please. My granddad told me that I don't need to be too tall to see the moon. If there is moon, when the moon said, a dwarf can see it, a tall man can see it. I don't need to go anywhere to see it.
Okay,
I
Ziggy.
should be seeing it in my house.
Thank you very much.
I don't need to go to local government.
All right. Thank you for calling, Ziggy. I have to take all the calls. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Maryann.
Good afternoon. Turn off your radio, please. Peter.
Yeah, I've turned it off.
Go ahead.
I think you can hear me now because I'm hearing you very well.
Perfectly.
All right. Now, Maryann, our people say, "Anami di young perfect talkie that would me benekenya." In English, it says, "A sinner runs when nobody is pursuing him." Now, in this case, they say if you have done well, like God told Cain, if you have done well, say your face no go there straight. Now, we talk of dialogue, we talk of investigation, talk of democracy, where we have executive, judiciary, and then legislature. Who pronounces somebody guilty or not is the judiciary. Who will interpret the constitution is judiciary. Now you just see people carrying flags. Have you taken them to court for court to discover and tell them that, yes, this what you have done is reasonable felony? How can one person just be the judge and be the capturer? Everything. So that's what I see in that. Now, if you dialogue with them and investigate, so if they tell you that, they're telling Russia, bring food for us, give us grain, because Ukraine gave us grain. So this is your flag. We are here. Remember us. What of it that is the case?
Okay.
Nobody's talking about that way.
Okay.
Let me say something about the journalists.
No, your time has
You know,
finished.
yeah, the right time they say they will hijack. It's the police that hijack. Were they trained in Ukraine? Were they trained in Afghanistan?
Okay.
And then our police. Or Saddam Hussein that trained them. I beg, let them go for training and not to handle situations.
All right. We do have riot police officers, and we were not even having a riot. It was just a protest, a peaceful protest. It just turned violent in some places. But I mean, talking about how the Nigerian police handles protests or any situation in general is a conversation on its own. It's a whole kettle of fish, and I think we must have that conversation. I'm hoping that Mr. Hundeyin would like to come to the studio. Hello.
Maryann, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Robert.
Hi, Robert. Go ahead, please. Hello. Oh, Robert, your line is dodgy. I'm so sorry, Robert. It's not working. It's not working. I'm so sorry. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hi, Maryann.
Yes, Daddy.
And how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Are you there? Oh, goodness. What's happening? Oh, wow. Time is really going. Hello.
Action lady.
Yes.
Another man's meat. Quick one, no time. Like Ziggy will always say, let me gist you. The ministry, the ones in Nigeria, people should just zero their mind from coup, because these guys, they dine with these politicians. The hierarchy in the military, they're enjoying what is going on. Then for the people that fly flag, they're calling Russia, they should really Russia out of it. Before 2015, did any of such thing happen, action lady? Flying a Russian flag in Nigeria. And for Baba Obasanjo, Nigeria is sitting on gunpowder. Is it now? All the complaint Baba Obasanjo complained when Jonathan was there, all of them kept quiet. Like I always say, you mentioned some journalists they dealt with, right?
Yeah, they were harassed, yes. Journalists from News
Central. That's why I
Central.
always say, we all are in for it, though. It's just question of time. We all are in for it.
All right.
The man don't tell on us saying grab the thing. Like this lady from Ijesha will always say, Maryann, stop supporting them. You are supporting them a lot, too.
Thank you very much for calling. We have to go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chris, for calling. I've got 43 seconds. I'm going to try to read a few more messages before we wrap up. I told you, Olumide Akpata, he is the governorship candidate for Labour Party in Edo State governorship elections. He's going to be joining us live in the studio in a few minutes. But let me read some messages here. This one says, people are hungered and angered, and government is not addressing issues. Maryann, flying flags is insurgency. People should be neutral and truthful. Ayo. Paul Idamudia here from Surulere says, Maryann, there is a difference between addressing Nigerians and addressing the issues raised by protesters. The president did not address the issues as raised by the protest. And that one does not require dialogue, but action. Thank you, Paul. And someone here says, the rice, Maryann, now audio rice. Idara. Thank you for your message. Someone here says, I just want to ask a rhetorical question. Do you think there's a chance that the police or military, what they did in Venezuela, could ever happen in Nigeria? I'm sorry to say this, but I think our police lack the intelligence and conscience to side with the suffering people. Their conscience have been bought tete. They don't behave like Nigerians. Meanwhile, they themselves, they suffer like us. This is from Dari. Thank you, Dari. Ivana Haifo is here with the news at the top of the hour. On the other side, we'll be talking Edo State governorship elections. Stay with us.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.